Hey, what's up, Woodchoppers? Andrew Rooney here. You are watching the NZ Drummer Podcast. For the full and edited episode, please head over to Stitcher or Apple Music or wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, review, and share. Enjoy. Daniel Waterson, welcome to the NZ Drummer Podcast.
Thank you. Pleased to be here.
It's awesome, man. Great to have you. And actually, what kind of, I guess, inspired me to make the call to you, to get you on? There's a couple of things. I had heard your name around town, and this great drummer coming through jazz school, and we always hear these scary stories of the latest star coming through the Auckland Jazz program.
Damn.
Damn. I don't want to embarrass you too much, but I heard lots of good things about you. Came and saw you at Combo Night a couple of times, I think. And most recently, I was doing We Will Rock You stage production at Bruce Mason. And we were having a coffee break in between acts, and someone brought up, I can't recall who it was, you, and how good a drummer you are, but really importantly, your Instagram feed.
The glorious Instagrams.
Yeah. So, and that was essentially how to make better music, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's our topic, what we'll get into today. But just before we hit that, can you sort of give us a little bit of background on how you got started and I guess, coming up and bands and where we might see you be playing around town, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I got my first drum kit when I was about 6. I was playing with my parents. My mum and dad are both guitar players, so I was playing with them at home and jamming. And they had a mate called George someone, and he'd keep his drum kit there sometimes. And so after they'd jam, I'd hop down the stairs and sort of sneak and see if the drum kit was there. And I got to know the drum kit that way and just kept on playing on his stuff. And then for my 6th birthday, I had a rock night for my birthday party.
Rock night?
A rock night.
Okay.
Which was
Themed
quite
out.
fun. Yeah, cool theme. And one of our mates came and left. He played the drums on that night, and then I bought that drum kit, and I've still got that in my setup at the moment, which is nice.
What sort of kit is it, man?
It's I think it's a Tama Swing Star, but the tom mount's a pearl.
Nice.
So I thought all these years it was a pearl, but it's actually a Tama. I think Swing Star.
Those are
pretty sure.
good
Bruce
kits.
said. Yeah, they're nice. It's real vintage sounding. If you put like coated heads on it, it's cool. Yeah,
Sweet.
it's quite reserved, so you can thrash it and it doesn't ring out too much. Yeah, it's super nice. And so from there, I was playing once a year in my primary school, like either Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or eventually it was Foo Fighters in the hall for my year 6 class.
Bit of a difference
or something.
there.
Yeah. And
Sorry, man. I'm just going to flick off the aircon, but carry on, man.
that's all good. What else after that? So that was primary. Then, all through intermediate, playing in bands, the jazz band or whatever it was. Gosh, that's going back now. Yeah, jazz band, choir. And then that's where I started drum lessons through there. And jazz combo. Started jazz combo with Trudy Lyle there. And then went on to Rangitoto College and did choirs, jazz combo, stage band, big band, drum lessons all through there.
So all your drum lessons were through school?
Yes. I think I got one when I was about 8 years old or so from a guy called Reese. Don't know his last name, but yeah.
Right. Who was the teacher? Who was the drum teacher at your school?
First one was Mike Burrows.
Okay.
Second one was, I've forgotten his name. Barry Young, and third one was John O'Sawyer.
Oh, right. Wow.
Yeah, so that was a cool mix.
Great.
Yeah, and then just, at school I did heaps of recording and mixing and engineering and stuff, like everyone would be out in the field and I'd be like in Pro Tools, like editing stuff. And then
In the music room.
yeah, in the music room, I'd be like, Miss, can I get the key? Yeah, sure.
Wow, you were that kid.
Yeah, I was that. Yeah. And then sometimes in the rock room practicing. And then I took the rock quest real seriously, probably more seriously than my band a bit. And it got me a bit because I was like, why aren't you guys into it? Because I was like, that was my thing. And they're like, oh, like it's like soccer to me. It's like, oh, it's just one of those things you do.
Yeah.
But we got to top 20, I think, in the country.
What was the band called?
It was fun. The band was called the Paradise Stone. So that would have been in 2013 or 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was real fun.
Cool.
Yeah, so I was just in full immersion, like getting all the
You're
jazz
just right into
combos.
it.
Yeah, just getting everything I could. Doing choirs, learning about harmonies, how the counterpoint and all that sort of stuff works. Yeah, just trying to get a real broad scope of everything because it was all interesting for me at that point. It still is.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
guess the natural evolution for that kid at school these days tends to be the uni jazz course, right?
Yeah,
So when did you start there, man?
that was
Straight after high school?
straight after high school, 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I finished last year doing honours, that's 2018. Yeah.
Yeah. And how
Yeah.
did you find, like, going as fairly young guy, going from the school environment into the Auckland Uni Jazz program?
I found it a bit, what's the word? I think just coming out of school, having not the same structure, like you get the assignment and the task you got to do, but you've got to find the path to get there. So I found that quite hard, but I got into it, I got used to it pretty quick, like
Yeah.
getting to know that you got to practice and practice and practice and practice and listen and listen. Otherwise you're not going to cope. And so I got at that real fast.
Cool.
And that was a good wake up call. And yeah, there's also so many other drummers, like you'll be like the top few in your school, and then when you're at uni, you're the bottom of the sort of out of school bunch.
Yeah.
And so it's quite humbling to see that wake up call. Humbling to remember it, and then also when you're there, seeing that the new people come in that think they're real good, and they go, oh, there's so much more I can learn. So that's my experience of it, and it was a real cool time.
That's probably a really harsh but necessary time in like a serious musician's career, I think, to like find yourself at the bottom of the heap again. Not that I necessarily believe that you were at the bottom of the heap, but I felt like I was. And I didn't go into that course thinking I was great, but I was worse than I thought I was.
Yeah,
I was like,
me too.
My God. Okay. And I recall one time specifically, we were doing percussion ensemble, which I'm assuming you still had percussion ensemble when you were there.
That, yeah.
So that's, all the drummers and classical and jazz and everything together. And first percussion ensemble, Ron hands us out all these sheets. It was a snare drum solo. And he gave us all these sheets, and we had brought our practice pad like we were told to do. And he just goes, 1, 2, 1, 2.
That's so wrong.
And me and the other two first year drummers, we just sat there like frozen, like, what do you want us to do? And every other drummer went vra, 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 da, da, and played the solo.
Damn.
And that was like, oh, okay.
Stuff's got to change.
Yeah, but I mean, how else can you get that brutal, like, but subtly brutal lesson?
Yeah.
He didn't whiplash us.
Good.
But he kind of did in a way, in a nice way, I guess.
He's done that to us too. It's been good. I love Rom. He's good like that.
You don't mind those harsh lessons?
No, we're too mollycoddled.
You think so?
Like, I think in some ways, like to a degree, like saying stuff like, and I was always taught this, like, do what you love and you'll be good at it. And I've followed that and it's worked really well for me. But if you're not given those times when it's real bad and you're like, oh gosh, I've got to change, then if you're stuck with only the mindset that you can keep going and it's going to be okay, then if you're doing something wrong, you might veer right off the track. But if you're like, oh, I need to do what I love, but I also need to I need to work hard and review my own playing, then I think that's the good combination for success, whatever success is.
Yeah.
So I like those times, even though they're like, oh, damn, I looked like a fool in front of everyone. I think they're pretty awakening.
I guess at some point you have to embrace them, right? Otherwise, there's just no growth.
Yeah.
Because if you're always comfortable, then it's just you just end up chasing your tail. I find.
Yeah.
That can happen with bands, right? If you're in the same band for long enough, and you're just like nailing the set every night, and you just start like clock watching a bit, and then it's like, this is getting a little bit too comfortable.
Yeah. And the arrangements are the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Oh, one other thing that I thought was interesting, and I mean, it's not that it's a huge deal, but you're the youngest person that we've had on the podcast, or that I've had on the podcast, and which I think is really cool. How old are you, by the way?
Turn 23 in October.
Okay, so yeah, all my other guests, like, man, they smell like Old Spice and mothballs, dude. So this is so good. So it's really interesting, actually, having a young perspective, but I feel like you're perhaps an old soul.
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff. All right. Well, so these Instagram posts that you started putting out, I'm not sure what the original sort of inspiration was, whether you wanted to just share ideas with other people online or what, but if we can hit those, how to make better music, which awesome topic. And
thank you.
But I think it's really cool how it's not what people would initially think. Like if people could bullet point 5 things how to make better music, especially drummers. You know, drummers are terrible with paradiddles.
Yeah,
and number 2, bass drum technique. Number 3, this. And it's like, yeah, this is not music, this is drumming, man.
Yeah, hard.
So, man, hit us with your, I think it was 5 points, wasn't it?
I think I did a few more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I've realized I've done a few more.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, man. Do you want to hit us with number 1?
Yeah. Number 1, I believe, was clean environment. So that was, I don't know how I came about that, but the philosophy of those posts was that I wanted to add value to people, to people's lives and their music making. And so that when they see my post, they think, oh, that's cool. That could apply to my guitar or flute or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think part of being a drummer is being aware of the other instruments and the interplay that your role plays in the whole band. I think as a musician, that's probably the definition of a musician, right? But a lot of drummers like myself used to be very drum orientated. Yeah. And so I wanted to try and make posts that would develop drummers into musicians and develop musicians into better musicians. So the first one is clean environment. If you go to my Instagram, you'll find it on there. It's a photo of my desk, which is very clean, which is not always the case. It's very like idealistic social media, like what it should be, but my life's not like that all the time.
I totally agree. I think uncluttered in general, right? Minimalism almost, I guess, in a way. Yeah,
I would say so.
Yeah.
Basically get rid of anything that's going to clutter your mind and that's going to get in your way physically. Basically, you want to, if you're in your, let's say, drum or music room, you want to make sure that when you're in the good mindset to practice, like if it's 9 a.m, you're like, cool, I've just gone to the gym, I'm owning the day. You don't want to trip over a cable or think, oh, maybe I should clean my desk over there. And then your brain goes, ooh, rather than, right, time to work on my groove. And if it's all clean, you can have a clean pathway, then you go and do the groove for half an hour and you go out and you go, yes, I've done it. Or if there's cables on the ground, you might not think it, but the subconscious goes, oh, I need to think about that later. And then it takes that brain power away. And the hard thing is that you don't realize it. And my room is very messy at the moment, and I'm having a hard time practicing, so I do need to clean it.
Yeah.
So I need to follow my own advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just been a hell of a time, just super busy, but
Yeah. There's that famous
yeah.
TED Talk. I think it was a TED Talk with it was like a former army or forces guy where he said the most important thing, his big piece of advice is to make your bed in the morning to improve your life.
Heck yes.
And I mean, on the surface, that sounds ridiculous, right? Like,
yeah.
make my bed and my life will improve. And it's like, yeah.
Hard
Because
out.
everything follows.
Yeah. I've been trying to, trying to refine my morning routine. And that's I drink water in the morning with a bit of salt for the hydration. But that's number 2 is make my bed. And it puts you in the mindset that you're doing one thing right. And you're doing the first thing right. And then you go, oh, if I've done this, I can do anything right in the day. And it just gives you that little bit of confidence that you can think, there might be a hard song, and then you go, no, I've made my bed today. I can do this. And it might just be that little push that you need when you're, say, in the 29th minute of your half-hour slot, and you might just need that little push to keep going. And I find it gets you over the edge.
I think it's really important to acknowledge small wins throughout the day.
Yeah.
Whereas I know I think I'm a little bit like you. I've got certain things that I want to hit during the day, like meditation or whatever it is.
Heck yeah.
And it can really bug me if I didn't do like the make the bed one. That could, and without knowing it, it's not like I'm going around like kicking over old ladies in the street because I didn't make my bed. But subconsciously, I'm like, oh, that's annoying that I didn't get that done. Whereas I could just do it and it's like, sweet, done,
Tick it off.
next thing. Are we OCD, man, or is this generally, I think this is generally pretty good advice.
I think this is pretty good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to think so.
Yeah. Awesome. So, yeah, number 1, clean environment.
Clean
Perfect.
environment.
Yep.
Number 2 is daily practice. Daily practice / habit stacking. So habit stacking is from a book. You've got show notes, eh?
Yeah, we can do. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
there's a book called Atomic Habits, and it's basically if you make a habit that's this big, like atomic size, then it's going to have an atomic sized, like a reaction, an atomic sized impact on your day.
Love it.
So that's where bed making came from as well. He's got lots in there, but basically habit stacking is saying that if you've got something like drum practice that you want to imply on your day, if that's the right word, you attach it to another habit that you've got. So if making your bed is the first habit, then you could say, right, I've done my bed. Now I'm going to get into the habit of doing some snare practice or doing some scale practice. If you don't make your bed, then you probably should. But if you're doing like, I don't know, breakfast, if that's a habit, then you go, right, breakfast, then something, then practice. And then you've got to do it for about 30 days for it to stick in your brain.
Yeah.
And after that, then you think breakfast, practice, and it just becomes this habit that when you don't do it, you go, oh, you get really annoyed. And that's what you really want. You want to get that habit going that when you don't practice or you don't do that habit that you want, you start getting fidgety and you go, oh, okay, if I haven't done it now, I better be practicing at 8 o'clock tonight. Like, it's got to happen. And it gives you that urgency to practice. That's called habit stacking.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's in line with daily practice, doing it every day, doing it repeatedly. And like, say on Monday you do, especially if you've got lessons, if you do a topic like paradiddles, for example, then this is for all the students out there too. If your teacher gives it to you on Monday, you've got 48 hours to learn it before you forget 80% of it.
Wow.
That's what the science says. And so same with rehearsals. I do this at rehearsals. If I've got a rehearsal on often Tuesday, then I have to look at it before Thursday. Otherwise, I'll forget 80% of it. I'll remember like how the song kind of goes, but when it comes to all the hits and stuff, I'll go, oh, what was that? But if I look at it that night, just even a mental thing like visualizing it, oh yeah, there's a hit on beat 2 and of that bar, and then the song starts with the drums here, just visualizing it.
Yeah.
That's really powerful. So yeah, just doing it every day. Like if you're doing paradiddles on Monday, reviewing it visually on Tuesday, doing it again on Wednesday, trying to do it every day basically.
Because I think habits are really interesting, because habits can work both ways. I think a lot of people think of habits as bad things. Like,
yeah, these are good habits. Yeah.
I smoke, or I drink too much, or I spend too much on the weekend, or I don't know. But like you've also slowly fallen into those habits. It's not like you can just go, oh, I won't do those anymore. Ding.
Yeah.
And they're gone. Just like you built into those bad habits, you need to build out of them and build good ones, right?
That's right, yeah.
Slow and steady and like manageable things. Like making the bed. Everybody can make their bed.
Yeah.
We're going to keep coming back to this, but like those little wins and there comes a point where you can almost feel invincible.
Yeah, that's
if
what
you
I
start,
feel.
If you start like just crushing everything you're doing, it's like, oh shit, this could extend to literally anything. This doesn't even have to be drums.
Yeah.
This could be my financial life, or it could be weight loss, or it could be anything because this is just all incremental, logical steps and habits.
Yeah, when you break it down to that everything is like a tiny step and then it's just incremental, then you start seeing everything in that way, I think, which is quite powerful. And then you go, well, that's a hard goal, but if I just build up all the steps I need to get to that goal, then that goal becomes really foreseeable, I find.
Yeah, I guess like your recital at uni, you know, that seems like just this crazy, impossible thing that's never going to happen, but 3 years later, it's there and it's not even a big deal, almost.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Or not that it's not a big deal, it's always important, but it's not, it's just an evolution of what you've been doing every day.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing about uni, actually, accountability.
Yes. Sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's probably another topic, accountability, but... so, okay, awesome. So that was 2, daily practice. And so was the stacking, the...
Habit stacking.
Habit stacking.
/ habit stacking. Yeah.
Great. What else we got there, man?
We got... kind of got like self-care in a few of them, but I'll break them down into... I've got 3 and 4 as eating right and exercise. But basically, it's like taking care of yourself. So if you want to do something, that when you set the intention to do it, you've got the energy and you've got the mental focus. You can sit down and do it and then finish and go, yes, I've done it. Whereas what a lot of people will do, like myself, will maybe eat a big carb meal and then we sit down and we've got all the intention to do it and we really want to get to that end goal and we go, I'm just so tired today. That bed looks really good.
Oh, Netflix.
Oh, YouTube. Yeah, polyrhythms. Yeah, that looks like a good video to watch. Oh, no, I haven't practiced. Yeah, so doing that is not a cool thing. So by eating right, which I've been looking into, for my diet, I've been trying to reduce fast carbohydrates and increase fats. And I've found that it gives you a nice, like, sort of slow release of energy, of sustainable energy, rather than and then you crash and you go, I'm so tired. So that's been a big one for me. Reducing, in terms of fats, reducing bad oils like canola oil. What's the other one? Soybean oil. They're quite rancid and they're bad for the body. And when they say like a little bit of fish oil like that is good for you, like 3 grams. Imagine if you're having deep fried food, which is like, how many grams of fat? Like, what's that going to do to you? Like, they say it inflames your brain and it inflames your body. And if you're having aches and pains and you're drumming, then you're not going to be able to work at your peak, which I don't want. I want to be owning it. So reducing those, increasing things like avocados, walnuts.
Who can afford avocados, man? What are you doing? You dealing drugs or something?
Oh, I'm investing, man. What else? Coconut oil is a good one.
Yeah.
That's a bit expanding, but if you get the cooking oil, it's a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Just don't cook it too hard, too high. Don't burn the fats. They go rancid.
Probably a good time, if I could just interrupt you just for a second.
Yeah.
So, I mean, looking at this clean environment, daily practice, eat right, exercise, are you talking like your end goal? Are you relating this to drums or life in general, and drums is just a part of that?
I think the end goal, like if I was let's say drumming for Justin Bieber, but I was overweight, sleepy, and not focused, then one part of me goes, yes, I've succeeded, but then on all other accounts, I've failed. So for me, drumming is part of it, and it's the fuel that keeps me going, aside from the fats. But mind the pun. But yeah, it's part of it, and I want to feel like right now I can talk to you, and it's like Just it's just us in the room. There's no like mind chatter. I'm not tired. I'm focused. Yeah. So part of what I define as success is being having well-being, as they say. And drums is part of that.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
But it's all sort of life stuff, right?
It's also the life stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no point, like you say, it's no point being Vinnie Colaiuta and you're clinically depressed and in bed the rest of the day.
Jeez, yeah.
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 Cool. Sorry, I just thought it just struck me that we didn't sort of, I mean, I guess How to Make Better Music was the overarching sort of header, but it's almost like Better Living.
Better Living with Dan Waterson.
Yeah, man. Love it.
That's crack up. What was my next one? Exercise?
Yeah.
Basically getting some exercise in. They say if you're sitting, I think it's like 3 hours a day, it's not that much, then you reduce your life by about 2 years on average, which everyone does. I do that. So they're saying, what the research is saying is even if you're going to the gym, trying to not sit when you can, just to keep the blood a little bit flowing.
Right.
Like getting up every 20 minutes, especially if you're a teacher, you can stand while you're teaching, or if you're in an office, maybe sitting. You could get a standing desk if that works. Basically trying to stay mildly active during the day. It tells your brain that you're hunting for berries, and it kind of keeps the blood flowing, apparently.
Okay.
So they say. And I find going to the gym or taking a bike ride is real nice, doing interval training or pumping some weight I find is good. Something to get the blood flowing and, as you said, feeling like you're accountable and you're improving. Like if you go, right, now I'm 65 kilos, and then next week, I'm 65.5. Then you go, I'm doing something right. And then when you apply that to the music or your drums, you can go, you have that same review mindset. Like, well, a year ago I was making beats like this, and now I can play like this, or now I can produce music like this. I'm doing really well. Even if it's a tiny increment, as you said, you still got to acknowledge that tiny improvement. And so if you can do that every year, if you do it every day, then in a year's time you'll go, damn, I'm killing it. I'm doing so much better than I was last year.
Do you celebrate your successes?
Yeah, sometimes I'm real tired in the day. Like I might have a big carb meal, but I go, damn, at least I got on my bike at 8 a.m.
Right.
Every day this week, or like 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if you go, damn, you suck this week, it's not going to make your brain feel that good.
No.
And I didn't put it in the Instagram post, but there's another point that they say for succeeding is called removing ants, which are automatic negative thoughts. And so they're kind of like the way I see them, they're kind of like a Loch Ness monster. So you got like the sea level, right? And so say this is your conscious and this is your subconscious. You'll kind of get that Loch Ness monster, that say it's a thought, will be like swimming under here, and then it'll be you suck. And if you're not aware of that, if you're not aware of it, you'll be aware of it when it's up here, but it can be down there the whole day, and you're like, why do I feel so bad? You suck. And so if you're not aware of that, then it can wreak havoc on your brain, or it might be like, who's going to listen to my music?
Yeah.
Or what else? They're stupid ones. They don't make sense. They're not real, but they'll be like filtered in from some conditioning somewhere. And so I find being aware of them and removing ants, as they say, automatic negative thoughts, that's quite a powerful thing too.
Right. Love it. Yeah, man. I definitely found a bit of a game changer for me, sort of, I guess, in this area was practicing gratitude before I go to bed.
Good one.
That was just, I mean, I had heard lots of people talk about this, and it's become a bit of a buzzword, gratitude. But oh man, I can't say enough. Like just acknowledging something that you're grateful for, and then you just sleep better, and you're happier, and you wake up, and you're like, oh, things aren't so bad. It could be something silly. It could be I had an avocado today.
Oh yeah,
as a treat.
Avocados are so good.
Or it could be, wow, I played a really cool gig. I had heaps of fun. Or I love my parents. Or it could be absolutely anything. Or I've got a house over my head. Yeah, and it's, oh man, it was so powerful, eh?
It changes your brain state, I find.
Yeah, because I think human nature seems to be, we love to play victim and we love to go for negatives. I think that it's just a human trait. And we're so critical. I mean, I can remember thinking back to when I started the podcast. I'd listen back to an episode and all I could think of was, oh my God, I sound so bad.
When you listen to yourself,
like, oh my God, I can't possibly sound like that. And you just zero in on those things.
Right.
Whereas, I mean, that's just the wrong way to frame things, to frame your life. You can look back and go, man, I'm so grateful that I had him as a guest. And it's the same thing happened, but you looked at it a different way.
And how you do one thing is how you do everything too.
Yeah.
So if you're grateful about that, then it changes your mindset totally. I find when I do that, what do they call it? The brain frequency, like, I can talk a bit about that. I find that quite interesting. Basically, if you're in like a fight or flight mode, then if you're practicing gratitude, it lowers from a beta to an alpha brainwave state, and then you become more, rest and digest. It's like parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. One's good for running away from a tiger, which we don't usually need to do, and one's good for deep breathing, for thinking properly, for digesting your food. And so if you're in like a fight or flight mode, like, oh, I'm in traffic, oh crap, oh no, and you think, what am I thankful for? Damn, I'm pleased I've got a car that works.
Yeah.
Or I'm pleased I can afford petrol. Then you go, and you have this nice silence, and then an idea might pop into your head, or you might think, oh, I need to ring this person. That would really make my day.
Yeah.
And it just changes your whole day, I find. It's incredible.
I don't want to keep hijacking your points here, but that just made me remember. You just made me think of the fact that all my best ideas are when I'm away from the kit and probably out of my house, probably exercising, going for a walk, being in nature. I'll get super inspired every time. And I'll just come up with idea. And then it's almost like run home to get these ideas down. But there's something really profound about fresh air, nature, and action. Physical activity. Where, I mean, you wouldn't normally think, drums, you'd think, okay, get on the kit and 8 hours. That's how you get good. And it's like, yeah, but is it? I'm not sure about that.
I know what you mean. For me, it's definitely not. I've got a awesome garage with a studio kind of set up, but the floor's not sealed off, so you kind of get sometimes a bit of mildew, and it's like, is this good to be in? Don't know if I want to be in this for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Like 1 hour you can kind of handle it, and if the doors are open, it's all good. But spending time down there is, I don't want to say toxic, but it's kind of taxing.
Yeah.
Like in the winter, it's like, I feel my throat a bit. This isn't so good. So yeah, I definitely feel it on that one. Yeah, fresh air is a biggie.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So we've got clean environment, daily practice, eating right, exercise.
What else?
What have we got next?
Listening.
Yeah.
This is a biggie. So this is from, I'll start with transcribing let's start with transcribing. So for drums especially, I find learning drummers and what drummers sound like rather than just what the drums sound like. So someone goes, hey, can you play like Art Blakey, or can you play like Dave Grohl or something? Then you can go, oh yeah, Dave Grohl's characteristics are loud in the pocket and feeling groovy. Just for example, what would Tony Royster Jr. sound like if someone wanted you to sound like him? What would Roy Haynes sound like? And having all these drummers that you can pick on, then you can go, oh, I really like that. Don't like that. I'm not going to use that. Might use it in a session sometime, but I don't associate with it. I like that. I want that to be a part of my artistry. And you can pick and choose different parts of the drumming universe, I find, and apply it to your own playing and see what resonates with you. So that's one thing for transcribing. For making better music, if you're into big band arranging, then transcribing big bands, seeing what's out there. Transcribing pop chord progressions, just transcribe anything, because when you do it, you internalize it, and you've got to go one time, oh, what was that? 2 times, oh, what was that? And you end up listening to it like 100 times when you're first doing it. And on that first couple rounds of transcription, you go like that. You get such fast growth, and I think I don't want to say it plateaus. It kind of slows, but you still get that benefit as you keep doing it. So that would be transcribing. Would be a big one. What was my next one? Listening.
I don't want to sound. What would be the word? I don't want to be too elitist, but I imagine a lot of drummers don't transcribe.
Yeah, I would say
that. I would guess so. And I guess that falls into the theory sort of category, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you can't write out drum music, you end up sort of writing your own kind of gibberish. Whereas I guess a transcription to me is something that if I wrote out an Art Blakey solo and gave it to you, you would play it and it would sound pretty close to the recording.
Right.
Whereas if I just write my own gibberish, it doesn't mean anything to you.
Because you get that universal language of writing, eh?
And without that, we're kind of just relying on our ears, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a bit finite, normally.
Yeah. And then transcribing is cool because you can listen heaps to it and then give it to someone else and they go, no, I thought it was this.
Yeah.
Like I did that. I'm like when I had Ron, I was like, Ron, is this right? He's like, dude, you're a whole half beat out. The whole transcription is a
really?
half beat out. Yeah. It's because I hadn't listened to the original. I was just listening to the live version. It was like, you can check it out. It's Brian Blade on Jazz Crimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, ba, 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 da, 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 bum, 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 it's so cool with Joshua Redman.
Nice.
Yeah, and so you kind of get that perspective from another person, I find. And because it's that universal language, you can communicate ideas in that way. Whereas if you just play it, there's not that same, what's the word? Credibility, I want to say, or like you can't give it to them like it's not concrete.
And I think the visual for me is really important. And I had a chat with, who was I talking to about this? It might have been Aaron Edgar, that I can see the music to some degree.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Which sounds really weird and potentially pretentious, I guess, to some people. But it's true, right?
Yeah.
You can see, especially, I mean, if it's just drums, I can see the grid that they're playing on.
Yeah.
And then it's just really simple.
Yeah,
you can write it out straight away. And I encourage my students to at least try transcribing and at least have a go at theory, because it can simplify things. Because you might be a visual learner, but you're staying away from transcribing because you're a bit intimidated or whatever. I don't know. It's good to get in there.
Yeah, it's good to get in there. And so, excuse me, my voice isn't so good. The other part of listening. The other part of listening is being really, what's the word? Being really attentive when you're listening. So let's say you're talking to a person, you're not going, yeah, nah, great. Yeah, good, yeah. And you're not on your phone, you're not reading a book.
Don't get me started.
When you're in a band, like, can you hear what the bass is doing? Can you hear what the vocals are doing? Can you hear what the guitarist is doing? Is there a keyboard player? What's the audience doing? Are they dancing? Are they sitting still? Are they going, boo? You know, are you in your own bubble, or are you aware of everything in a, not hyper-aware way, but in a calm, relaxed state that you can know what's going on? So that's in a live setting. Then in a recorded setting, do you know all the instruments in the recording? Are there 5 different drum takes, or how many overdubs are there? Are there vocals? Are they spread like this? That's getting into the bit of the production side of things, which I quite like too. But it helps you think about what, especially as like covers drummers, you've got to think about what the focal point is.
Yeah.
And if you're doing a little drum fill, it might fit into the style of the song, like it might be a soul song and you do a soul fill. But if it's over the vocal, which is the main hook of where everybody's listening to, then it's going to take the audience's attention away from that vocal and take them out of the moment that it's so tried hard to create. So I find listening to both recorded and live music, thinking about what the focal point is, and if it's like a produced song, what the producer and the artist were trying to make you think about when you're in that song, or what they wanted you to feel. Like if you're listening to something like Cold Sweat by James Brown, it's a real groovy song. You just want to sit down and relax to it.
Yeah.
Whereas if there's something like I don't know, I can't think of an example. Like an upbeat song, it's more like, hey, party time, get up and dance. And so if partly part of that listening is thinking, when I convey that on the kit, am I needing to make the audience do that in the same way, or can I change it up and make them relax when they should be dancing, or vice versa?
You are in the driver's seat in a way with the drums.
A lot of it, and because you control, I feel the time feel, like not just where the main 1, 2, 3, 4s are placed, but also the percentage of swing.
Yeah.
Like if it's swinging or straight, that'll affect how the rest of the band bounces or doesn't bounce.
Yeah.
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 I find that really interesting.
Yeah, I totally agree. I saw this at uni as well. This was another good lesson. Like combo, Ron took my first year combo.
Cool.
Which was great and also awful for me. Because, when I was playing, it wasn't happening. It wasn't. I was a first year drummer and, it just wasn't happening. I wasn't comfortable, relaxed, all these things we're talking about. I was nervous and like, and Ron's sitting right there, so I'm freaking out. And then he'll get on. But and it sounded great, obviously, but what was amazing was watching the other people in the band when he got on. And you could see, man, the shoulders, it was like,
right.
and like everyone's smiling and like, and the band, it sounds like a CD instantly. And it's like, oh, wow. And that was just one person.
Yeah.
This is not a different band. This is just one person's switched. So that was pretty powerful for me, like seeing how big a difference the drums can make. And like you can just elevate everything.
Hard out.
And all of a sudden everything's happening.
Or not happening.
And everyone's playing out of their skin.
Yeah.
Because they're getting a big kick in the bum from the drummer, which is really cool.
It's cool, eh? And then if you've got a whole band that's tight and on fire,
yeah,
it's such a good feeling.
Yeah. I find it really interesting watching, artists that I really respect, live performances that weren't happening. I find that really interesting because, especially like thinking of like Motown and stuff, and the recordings are just classic, and we've heard them a million times, and they're perfect. They're just this amazing jigsaw of band and production and songwriting and everything. And then every now and then I'll catch like a live thing, and it's just not quite happening.
Right.
Like the vocal phrasing isn't on point.
Like from the artist.
Yeah. And just little things. I was like, oh, okay. So they're human.
Yeah.
But I mean, there could be a little bit of improv going on, and they didn't have the same studio perfection mindset that we have now. So they were probably still a bit more jazz.
Bit more experimental in that way.
Changing up the phrasing, and they probably sung that song 5,000 times. So it's evolved.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it's just like, oh, okay, that's really not actually happening now. And it's, anyway, I find that interesting.
Cool. Yeah. I love talking about music. It's so fun.
Oh, I know.
Getting another perspective.
Luckily, this episode's 5 hours. Everyone's tuned in, eh?
They're all switched up.
Awesome, man. So, all right, listening, love it. Crucial.
Second one would be like 5th or 6th or something. I've got under 2 points, clearing your head inside and outside, but that could kind of come into some, like the sum of it would be meditation or being able to center yourself. So let's say, I say the point why it's important. If you're in the practice room or you're doing music, you've got to be able to go in there with intention and be able to execute what you want to execute. And often what happens, personally, I find I start getting thoughts about other stuff. Like it might be drumming, but like, I need to clean my drums. I need to clean my environment or whatever. And so if I find that's happening, either doing a bit of meditation I find is really good, like focusing on the breathing, coming back to like just one central thought. Might be breathing, it might be, some people do transcendental, which I haven't tried, but it's like listening to one sound over and over, or going for a walk and just going for your, taking your dog for a run, being outside, not having anything to filter in your conscience. I find that really powerful. Maybe swimming, might be going to the gym, It might be eating right, it might be going and making some food and then coming back, just doing something else to break that cycle of, oh, I need to clean my room. Oh, I need to do some paradiddles. Oh, I've got this invoice to send. Oh. And then you get all these different mind-chattering thoughts that aren't relating to your one thing of, oh, yeah, I came here to practice groove.
Yeah.
And then, if you lose that and you can become aware that you can lose that, and meditation helps that awareness, then when you come back, you can go, right, I'm here to do one thing and I'm going to do it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
I find that powerful.
Yeah. I've probably talked about meditation far too much on the podcast, but
It's worth talking about.
yeah, I was a big skeptic, to be honest.
Actually, I was too. I thought, oh, what are these fairies doing?
Yeah.
But when you do it.
But yeah, that was another game changer, for me. And I didn't realize how scatterbrained my mind was
Right.
until I did it. And then it's like, oh my God, I can't even do this. This is essentially nothing. And I can't do it. I can't turn off. So yeah, I found that super frustrating and enlightening at the same time. And now I'm a total I'm like all about it. I mean, I guess the word meditation has the connotation of this,
Yogis
right?
and
and all that stuff. And whereas, so that's not what it's about at all.
If you want it to be, it could be, but
Yeah.
nah, not for me.
No.
But maybe I'll go to some Buddhist camp sometime. I'm not opposed to that, but yeah, you can. There's so many forms that you can find that will suit you. So I think find one that works, and then when you get it, you'll be like, oh, I wish I did this 10 years ago.
No. Is meditation a part of high school these days? I'm out of touch with what's going on in high school.
I think it's in Sweden. I'm probably wrong, but it's in some detention center where they're like, right, you've been naughty. Instead of putting them into detention, they make them all meditate.
Right.
And their rates of naughtiness, if that's a word, went way down.
Yeah.
I can't remember where, but I don't think it's here. I think it should be here, but it's not here.
It almost feels like, I mean, we're learning so much more about how the brain works and, stress and depression and all these things now. There's so much more light shed on that stuff. I feel like this kind of stuff has to be introduced.
Heck yeah.
Like a bit younger.
Yeah.
Because people are encountering these problems at a young age. People are getting, problems at home or stress or whatever, that can happen really young. And it's a life skill, right?
Yeah. I do it every day. It's like,
it's amazing.
Invaluable.
Yeah. That is one of the things where if I don't get to it, I'm annoyed.
Yeah, same. Same.
And then I will be driving into hit this building just going, get out of my way, man. Yeah, exactly. It's super powerful. And my advice to anyone who was like me, who thinks that's just silly, meditation, drumming's got nothing to do with drumming. My advice is give it a try.
Yeah. Just try it out.
Just try it.
Yeah. They're cool apps. They're free. There's one called Headspace.
Amazing.
One called Calm. There's probably free hours on YouTube you can try. Yeah. Super good.
Totally.
Cool. My next point is goal setting. This is a big one for me.
Oh, I love this, man.
Goal setting.
Yeah.
Good. Goal setting for me is like on Google Maps, it's like writing in where you're going to go. And then Google Maps is, I wish there was a Google Maps for our life.
Siri, I want to be the best drummer in the world.
Go to jazz school. It's like setting that intention for where you want to get to and what is going to fulfill you, what's going to make you feel like you've succeeded in one aspect or another. And when you do that, like it can be on a year scale, it might be like release my album. Then you start thinking, or your subconscious starts thinking, okay, what are the different steps I need to take to get there? I need to get 10 songs. What do I need to do that? Oh, okay, I'm really good at keys, but I don't have a drummer. Maybe I go and find a drummer. Right, or maybe you've got all the songs there. Now I need to get them mixed and then mastered. And then I need to get some camera shots and that's all. And then I can put it together. And then once that's done, you can tick it off and go, yes, what's the next one? And then do it again. Or I can't do paradiddle starting on my left hand yet. Try that. Oh, damn, I failed. try it the next day. Oh yeah, a little bit better. Then in a week you've got it. You can tick it off and go, oh yes. And you feel this sense of dopamine rush. It's like when you get an Instagram notification, you go, ooh, even if it's just like something stupid, you go, ooh, and that's what it's designed to do, right? And there's a cool app called, I'll give you a link to it. It's called Wunderlist. It's on Android, probably is on Apple too. You can make a to-do list and you can tick it off and it goes, ba-ding! And you go, oh, and you get this little rush.
Yeah, like the gambling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it might be like mow my lawn, ka-ching! And you go, oh, damn, that was good.
Oh,
and
how good is mowing the lawn, by the way?
Oh, heck yeah. Amen to that. So I use that. So it might be, something real basic like shopping, gym, practice, and then you go tick, 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 and you've, as you say, you're accountable for the day, and you've done what you needed to. And then when you tick them off, and you've set the long-term trajectory, then you go, right, yes, I am going towards that, and I know that I'm doing the right thing. Whereas I was thinking about this today, like goal setting, you can do things that are arguably good, like getting super big biceps. It's like, oh, yeah, you're accountable, da-da-da, but in 10 years, if you've got the biggest biceps but you're unhappy, then it's not relevant to you. So I like to do sometimes thinking about what it would be like on my deathbed. It's kind of morbid, but what would it feel like if I hadn't done X, Y, or Z?
Yeah.
One of them is playing with Mono Neon. Do you know the bass player Mono Neon?
I don't.
He's from a band called Ghost Note.
Oh, okay, yep.
Dude's from Snarky Puppy and stuff. Awesome band. So he's in one of my long-term goals. And so to do that, if he doesn't come to NZ, then I'm probably going to have to go to LA or wherever he is. So in my short-term goals list, it's going to be buy a plane ticket to LA.
Right.
Because if I don't do that, then it's not going to meet my long-term goal list. And like you can get by, like you can, you can survive without doing a lot of these things. But for me, it's about doing what is going to make you feel satisfied and make you feel like you're doing the most for your circumstance and or providing the most value for people.
Yeah. Goal setting, like meditation, I'm not sure if this is taught in schools, but goal setting, I mean, it's mad. If goal setting is not part of a school curriculum, that's ludicrous.
It should be, eh?
It should be.
Hard out.
And I think it's really important to, like, I heard a really good piece of advice where your goals should be so outlandish that people are almost laughing at you. And if they're not, then you're probably not reaching high enough. I love setting just ridiculous goals and letting lots of people know. And then when they laugh, I'm like, oh yeah,
sweet victory.
Like not, I don't do that, but my brain's going, oh yeah, bring it on. I love that. That I've just set myself a challenge. And there is a bit of accountability there, right?
There is,
because you've told someone. I mean, I guess you don't have to go around telling people all your dreams and stuff, but for me, it works.
Cool,
it's a bit of a switch for me. And the other one, of course, is writing things down, right?
Heck yes, writing things down. That's why the app I find is so good. Because you can be anywhere and you've got that goals list there and you're like, why am I on this bus? Oh, that's right, I'm here to see a sick band. Yeah. Whereas if you're seeing the band, you're like, oh, it was good, but I'm tired. But if you see that goals list, like, I want to play with this player in LA, then you're like, right, I'm here because I need to see the style of that player so I can play like him or so I can fit into his groove or whatever. Yeah. It just gives you that accountability. I find that with younger players too, like, or perhaps I should say being younger, like if you're saying to your family, like, oh, I'm going to be a drummer, then they go, okay, and what's your real job going to be?
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
And in my head, I used to get this from some of my family. In my head, I'm going, well, I'd rather be a little bit less poor and really happy and still crush it than like super rich and unhappy. Like, I felt that's, for me, my life's purpose is to play drums. Do you get that? Do you see what I mean? Or did
totally.
you get that sort of realization? I don't know if it's common.
Yeah, I definitely had the thing of, I went to uni, I was older than you are now when I started uni. And people just thought I was out of my mind. Like, what on earth, what are you doing? But they were really like, what are you doing? You're crazy.
Jeez.
Like, but the thing was, like, I had like a dead end job, and I was just bouncing around stuff aimlessly. So looking back now, it's like, well, yeah, of course I had to follow my passion to some degree, or else I would have that thing of the deathbed and going, I lived this boring life where I didn't do what I wanted to do. You know, I should have gone to jazz school.
Yeah.
Or I should have at least given this a go, you know, and that's the difference. That's why you've got to do it. You've just got to do it.
Yeah, and practice hard. It's not just like, I'm going to quit my job. It's like, keep your job, keep practicing, and then when you can, in terms of being a musician, when you can sustain that, then quit the job. That's what my advice is.
Yeah. I think it's totally manageable to, you know, lead a good life as a musician. I don't think you need to be a starving artist.
Nah, no way.
As a drummer.
Nah. I think there's also the difference between artist and musician as well. I mean, like, they're both musicians, but working as a covers artist or working as an artist, because myself, I personally do both, and I find that the cover stuff and the teaching stuff is super satisfying, and that fuels a lot of my artist stuff. Whereas if I just said, right, I'm only going to do my own career, focus on my jazz, hip hop, whatever, my project, then A, I probably wouldn't have the money, and B, I wouldn't have the contacts, the friends, the fun jams with all my other mates that I've met at jazz uni and such. So I think doing, not to like, what am I saying? I don't want to say to people that don't do your art, but like, if you can find a way to make your music make money, that's my point. Yeah. Then you can go, oh, this you might not like Taylor Swift, but if you play this Taylor Swift song, you go, damn, there's a really cool hook in there, which I would never have thought of. Yeah. Or that guitar part is actually quite hard. And then you might be doing your art all week, but then on the Saturdays you get a couple gigs, and then you go, damn, I can make a career out of this. Yeah. And then slowly that artistry can expand, and your gigs can expand as an artist. And then you can be doing just artist gigs. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just do covers, and that's cool too. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a million ways to skin the cat, right? Yeah, heck yeah. And I always remember Ron saying to me at uni, he was like, an eighth note's an eighth note, man. And he was kind of like, getting at like, who cares, man? Like, just play. Like, it's you on the drums. It doesn't matter whether you're doing a covers gig or this gig, or if the gig's cool or if it's not cool. None of that matters. Just go and play. And I think covers are great for mileage, man. Heck yeah. I mean, and if you are transcribing, if you're going the extra mile, transcribing all these songs, trying to get like the Charlie Watts feel, trying to get the Dave Grohl feel, and, you know, how can I actually make this song bigger and more Grohl-like, and then this song not quite as perfect and more Charlie Watts-like and a bit swingy on the hi-hats or whatever. That's so valuable. Heck yeah. That can only fuel your drumming in general. Yeah, I agree. And a covers gig tends to be, what, 3 hours? Yeah. That's a hell of a lot of drums, man. It's tiring. It's super tiring. Yeah. I remember doing a half-hour gig when I was at high school, and it was like, damn, we need a lot of material, and we got to be fit because it's in summer. Yeah, and now we're doing like 3-hour gigs. In one of my bands called Big Ticket. We play at Lula Inn every second week, every second Saturday. Yeah, and we're doing quite a bit of stuff now, and that's real fun. It's like upbeat jazz covers of modern pop songs. Right. It's like postmodern jukebox. Yep. Yeah. And nice. It's real fun. Everyone's dancing. It's a blast. It's super fun. That's great. Yeah. That's the other thing with covers. Like, covers do get a bad rap. And I've done a covers episode for the podcast, and, you know, I do a bunch of covers and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, remember, covers don't have to be bad. You can play them well. Yeah. And you can have a good band. There's no need to be playing bad covers in a bad band. Yeah, I feel you. I think that's where all that negativity comes from. The bad covers
Like people
band.
clocking in for the 3-hour covers gig and just going, oh my God, Brown Eyed Girl, here we go. And it's like, well, it doesn't have to be like that. You're not doing it right.
Yeah,
You're not doing covers right if you're doing it like that.
Should be fun. Heck yeah.
Awesome, man. So
agree.
goal setting.
Goal setting. Next one is networking / being a good person.
Oh, yes.
So it's partly music, but it's basically being a good person. So you want to hang around. So people want to hang around you. If they're a little bit, what's the word? Shy, you're going to go, oi, so-and-so, you da-da-da? Or you're going to go, hey, how are you going? Just being a good person. And like networking is part of that. Going to bars if you're old enough, meeting new people, jamming with new people. This year I started recording drums for a producer named Eddie, and another dude called Aaron Strickland, who's a terrific bass player, amazing bass player. And that's been real cool because I can get a perspective on modern hip-hop and R&B. Whereas if I said, right, I'm a jazz drummer, here's my path, then you miss out on all that knowledge.
Yeah.
And they're so good at, like in rehearsal, they're so good at going, okay, you're playing an extra hi-hat on that beat, can you not do that? Because they're so tight at drum programming. And I'd go, oh, yeah, I am doing that. And it makes me realize things that I wasn't aware of at all.
Yeah.
And you get that different perspective. That's why playing different genres I like too. Because then you can cross-pollinate them and then make something better. So networking is a big one. Meeting new people, all of that stuff.
Networking is another thing that I think that gets a bad rap. The word networking.
Right.
I think people think of it as like a bit sleazy or a bit disingenuous.
Right.
They're like, oh, hey man, I'll buy you a beer, like trying to steal your gig, kind of deal. Whereas like, I definitely look at it as just be a good person. Don't be a dick. Don't try and like game anyone, and that gets tired real quick.
Yeah.
And Auckland is a fairly small, or New Zealand's small.
Heck yeah.
That won't go very far.
And you give them a gig and they give you a gig.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
Yeah.
And then they give you more gigs than you need, but they're still giving you gigs. Oh, yeah. Networking's so good. And you make friends. And then you want to hang around them and you can talk music all day and swim in the pool and yeah.
Yeah. Diversification, Like if you're you were talking about one track mind before, exactly the same with gigging. If I want to do these kind of gigs, and you miss all that exterior stuff, that's going to be a very difficult path sustainably as a musician. You need to take a bit of everything, I think.
I reckon. I get the argument that if you're versatile, you're not going to be as proficient at one thing. But in my experience, it's worked really well because I've learned so many different things that I can apply to everything and just mix them all in. And then you make this product or this, as a drummer, you're a service to people that is really well-rounded and you can go into any genre, any situation, and then you can crush it.
And I think that's more you, right? You become like you as a drummer, as opposed to I'm just hard-hitting rock guy. There's
that's a good point. I never thought of that.
Like if you've been exposed to a bit of Afro-Cuban drumming, you did a Motown gig, you did programmed sounding, I don't know,
like R&B, hip-hop stuff.
And then out of it all, you become this like unique product of all your experiences and all your